Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla. The world is transitioning to an economy run by renewables and not fossil fuel. A transition Tesla has made their mission to accelerate. And in doing so, with not just electric cars, but also with their energy storage business, Tesla is setting themselves up to become the leader in the new age of energy generation and storage. This is a billion-dollar business opportunity for Tesla that is truly about to awakening already here in 2024 and growing to a behemoth over the next couple of decades. One you do not want to miss. So let's check out another of these many startup companies there are within Tesla beyond the car business. And let's dive right in. So, a wind turbine usually only works 30 to 40% under their true capacity because there is a lack of demand for electricity. So they only provide 60 to 70% of their true capacity. So that is why you sometimes see wind turbines not spinning, because it will lose the company money if they do, and why you sometimes will earn money by using electricity at your home, like I have experienced many times to get paid to fill up my Tesla at home, because we in Denmark were producing much more renewable energies that we could use. That is why the battery storage is such a big piece of the puzzle. Just by sticking Tesla batteries next to a wind turbine, you can generate and use 30 to 40% more electricity than before, without installing any new wind turbines. And that is why these big batteries are such a good business case for the energy companies, as we saw with the Hornsdale power plant, that paid off their big battery made by Tesla's batteries in less than 2 years. Also because the battery power plant is very efficient and cost effective to turn on and turn off for peak demand, where a coal peaker plant is slow and very expensive to turn on and expensive to shut down. So that is also how the energy companies can save so much money by making a battery power peaker plant rather than using the expensive coal peaker plant. And with 2023 new installation of just wind turbines, we are now just over 1000 gigawatt hours of capacity. And the forecast is that we will install about 136 gigawatt per year over the next 5 years. But remember, with 1000 gigawatts capacity, we are probably only utilizing about 600 to 700 gigawatts. So just by adding batteries to these wind parks, we can add about 300 to 400 gigawatts to the actual usage of electricity. So about the same amount of 3.5 years worth of putting up wind turbines. So batteries are very important to make us able to run everything on renewables. And yes, this is possible. Hundreds of studies has already shown this, and just one of these studies was from Lund University and 14 additional leading international universities. I actually did an interview with one of these professors that was part of the study about a year ago. So there is no doubt it is possible, only doubt being spread by Big Oil and Big Auto, of course, but all the hundreds of studies shows this is absolutely feasible. But we do need one more thing than just solar, wind and batteries to make this possible. But that is something Tesla is also providing, and that is the necessary software. And I'm not only talking about Autobidder that buys and sells energy tuned from the grid. This is why these battery plants pay themselves off so quickly, because it enables the energy companies to buy low and sell high every single day. But that is not the software that is missing to make the 100% renewable possible. That is Tesla's virtual machine mode. They started implementing it in the summer of 2022. The first to test it out was, of course, Hornsdale Power Plant Reserve in South Australia. The product was even revealed by NEO, the French energy company that owns the Hornsdale Power Plant Reserve, announcing that it obtained approval to offer the world's first grid-scale inertia service through Tesla's technology. Hornsdale Power Reserve is the first big battery in the world to deliver grid-scale inertia service thanks to Tesla's pioneering virtual machine mode technology. As more wind and solar power replaces fossil fuel generation, less mechanical inertia is available on the grid, removing a natural stability buffer in the case of a grid disturbance. Tesla's virtual machine mode is designed to address these stability challenges by virtually emulating mechanical inertia. Megapacks built-in inverters with virtual machine mode create grid-forming dynamics that provide grid strength, response to added and rejected loads, and maintain quality voltage at a point of interconnection. In South Australia, the Hornsdale Power Reserve alone can provide up to 3,000 megawatt seconds of inertia by using virtual machine mode, roughly half of the entire state's inertia needs from just this one battery plant, thanks to Tesla's software. NEO commented on the deployment of the technology of the Hornsdale Power Reserve. This landmark achievement is the result of 2 years of extensive trial and intensive collaboration between NEO and battery technology provider Tesla. So, not a car company, but battery technology provider, working closely with AEMO and Electranet, South Australia's network provider. Together, they completed the necessary studies and testing and analysis to deploy this pioneering technology at scale for the first time. Added power stability and not just energy. And one grid operator using Tesla's virtual machine mode said they will not make a grid on 100% renewable without this software. They tried it, but it didn't work. They need this kind of software to make a grid on 100% renewable work. And this is something no one else yet but Tesla has. And Tesla is pioneering the energy business, just as they did with their Autobetter that sells and buys energy from the grid. So Tesla's system is the one to get, as Tesla showed off with their solar inverter architecture white paper. Their levelized cost of energy, the LCOE, is the cheapest on the market. LCOE is just the lifetime cost of a system divided by the lifetime energy generation of the system. And Tesla's is the cheapest, the most reliable, and most energy dense system you can get. And did I mention the cheapest? There is no contest here. And why Tesla has a 2-year backlog on their Megapacks. So if you need a system like this, Tesla is the best and cheapest. Very hard to compete with, especially when Tesla will take the scale of these batteries to a level never seen before by the entire industry. And as Rethink studies run by Tony Seba has shown us, we don't need enough batteries to run the world for weeks and months at a time. We need enough batteries for about 35 to 90 hours. The big difference between the numbers here is because it varies by geographic location. But even in the coldest and darkest corner of the Earth, they only need up to 90 hours worth of batteries. So I think this is what many people misunderstand about the whole shift to renewable energy. But being able to run pretty much the entire world for 35 to 90 hours on batteries still requires a shit ton of batteries. And Tesla is the leader in storage energy. And this business is about to take off. And not by the end of this decade or next decade, but we will probably already see some huge growth here in 2024. Both because Tesla's Megapack factory in Lathrop has been ramping up for a year now, and everything they have learned from that factory they can implement in the new factory that will come online in 2024 as well in China. So that will be much faster to ramp up than Lathrop. So we should see a great increase in Tesla's energy storage this year and the coming many years, of course, and really start to be a much bigger contributor to Tesla's profits as well. There is a lot of variables in the Megapack business because they become cheaper the more you buy, and there is of course also a maintenance Tesla earn money on every single year going forward. And at the moment, if you buy 5 packs, you will pay almost $6,000 for maintenance in a year, but that will increase by 2% every year going forward. So after being in operation for 25 years, Tesla earned closer to $10,000 a year on maintenance on just 5 packs. So Tesla will earn about $200,000 per 5 packs they install today over the next 25 years. That might not sound like a lot, but just Lathrop being able to produce 10,000 packs a year. In 25 years from now, those 10,000 Megapacks will bring in about $20 million in maintenance that year, 25 years out in the future. But over the span of those 25 years, those 10,000 Megapacks have earned Tesla something like $400 million in maintenance. And that factory will of course continue to produce 10,000 Megapacks every year for many years to come, and so will the China factory. So maintenance alone will suddenly become a $1 billion business case for Tesla a decade or two out in the future. The longer we look out in the future, the more Megapack Tesla have installed and the more money Tesla will bring in every year in just maintenance. Not to mention that Lathrop factory running at full capacity will bring about $20 billion every year in sales of Megapacks. So just Lathrop and the China factory will both probably be running close to full capacity by 2026. So we are already talking about $40 billion in revenue from Tesla storage business only on Megapack sales. So that is excluding all the Powerwalls Tesla is also installing every year. So earning money on the sales of Powerwalls and the money they earn by selling energy to and from the grid and stabilizing the grid with the software that will turn all these Powerwalls into a virtual power plant as well. So all of that on top of the $40 billion potential in 2026. And if their Megapacks have a gross margins, let's say 30%, that is $12 billion in profits in only a couple of years. That is more than Ford and GM earns in a year in net profits. If I am off by a year or two, it doesn't really matter. It is just to get an understanding of how much potential there is in Tesla's storage business, because from here on out, Tesla will of course just scale up even further with more Megapack factories all around the world, as the world is transitioning to renewable energy over the next 30 years. This was just looking out a couple of years. If Tesla built just 2 more factories within this decade, Tesla will have something like $80 billion in revenue on their Megapack sales alone by 2030. And again, we still have to add all the other parts of this business on top of that. All the software revenue from Autobidder, virtual machine mode, virtual power plant, the Powerwalls, and the maintenance of all these thousands of Megapacks they deploy every single year. So we don't have to make an accurate guess of the exact amount and the exact year this will happen. But if you hold on to your Tesla stock for like 10 or 15 years, just know it will be a lot. Of course, not financial advice, do your own research, but to me this is just yet another business inside Tesla, the car company, that will at some point earn Tesla billions of dollars in profits. And that is without speculating on Tesla actually owning some of all these battery peaker plants themselves, like the one in Gambit in Texas, and actually becoming an energy provider, as they are working on in many countries, also to be able to run their virtual power plant with all these hundreds of thousands of Powerwalls they have installed. So again, this is just yet another business case we have to put on top of all the things we have already talked about. Because as we know from the Hornsdale Power Plant Reserve, if Tesla built a 100 megawatt hour battery plant, it would pay itself off in just a year and then earn Tesla hundreds of millions of dollars every year going forward. Just one peaker plant. So to call Tesla just a car company is looking in the rearview mirror, not seeing what Tesla is actually doing, just like many thought Amazon was just an online bookstore. Boy, did they miss out on one of the biggest opportunity in recent history. All the people that looked in the rearview mirror and called Apple just a computer company, and the iPhone would be a flop. In 2024, Apple's iPhone is expected to hit $2 trillion with a T. $2 trillion in lifetime revenue. It is the most successful consumer product in history. Can you imagine being the guy that said it would never be a success?
Steve Jobs goes to Macworld and he pulls out this iPhone. What was your first reaction when you saw that?
$500 fully subsidized with a plan? I said, that is the most expensive phone in the world, and it doesn't appeal to business customers because it doesn't have a keyboard, which makes it not a very good email machine. Well, let's take phones first.
Okay.
Right now, we're selling millions and millions and millions of phones a year. Apple is selling 0 phones a year. In 6 months, they'll have the most expensive phone by far ever in the marketplace. And let's see, what's the expression? Let's see how the competition goes.
And then it not just becomes a success, but the biggest success in history. And this is, unfortunately, what we see many people doing with Tesla. Looking in the rearview mirror and just looking 1 quarter ahead or 1 year, missing the future potential, not understanding where Tesla is heading, and they are multiple startup companies in one that all have the potential to become multi-billion-dollar companies all on their own. And this was just looking at one of these many businesses inside Tesla, and the third video in the series of Tesla Beyond Cars. So if you want to see the other 2 videos, I highly recommend you check them out as well. Link down below. And this was all, of course, by not talking about battery storage and energy generation combined with Tesla's worldwide charging network, but that is for another video. And thank you for watching, and until next time, take care out there and be nice.